So here in this solution there may actually be a couple of different solutions, and that's probably okay if your solution is not exactly as mine. So if the program you've written works and you can see that for different numbers you provide there are the same numbers of asterisks printed to the screen, then your program probably is correct, okay? Don't be afraid if it's not the same as the program I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you just one option. So in my option, we first of all will create a variable that will hold the number of asterisks that need to be printed to the screen. So let's use something like this: int num of asterisks, right, if I'm not mistaken. Then, of course, we need to use some input function, right, to read from the user that number. So we are going to print enter a number of asterisks you would like to see. Okay, something like that. You would like to see. You would like to see, semicolon at the end, and here we are going to use the scanf function and to read the value from the console and place it inside and put it inside this variable. And now at this point you already have the number of asterisks that you have to print to the screen. So to accomplish our task we are going to use our new body, the loop body, the while loop body. So simply write the while statement, while, use the parentheses, and in the parentheses you specify the condition for when the loop is going to be executed. So num of asterisks, as long as num of asterisk is greater than 0, then in this case, if this condition happens to be true, as long as this condition happens to be true, we are going to execute a bunch of commands. So the first command is, of course, to print an asterisk to the screen, right? And that's how you do it. You printed out one asterisk, and if you are to run this program right now, actually, let's do it, but very, very carefully. If you're about to do it on your own at your home, make sure you're safe, all right? So let's build and run it, and let's place here, I don't know, 3, for example. Oh, and we got an infinite loop. So press Ctrl C if you're using Windows. And we got an infinite loop in this section. And that's not something that we wanted, right? We want to, at some point, to get out of this loop, to make sure that this condition in the future, once it's printed out all the necessary asterisks to the screen, that it will stop and it will move on to the next command. So for that we are just going to reduce the value of these variables this variable by 1 at every iteration. So simply write num of asterisk equals to num of asterisk minus 1, or you may also use just something like that. I'm putting it in the comments here, num of asterisks minus minus. And now on each iteration we are going to decrement the value of num of asterisks by 1, and we will do so until we reach 0, which means all the asterisks have been printed on the screen, and voila, your program works. So let's try to build and run it once again and see what happens. So let's build and run it. There we have the message. Let's use 3. So we have 3 asterisks. And also if we are going to use here, I don't know, 100, let's see. So that's probably going to be 100 of asterisks. And one last thing to mention here, we want to a little bit to separate this message from this default message printed out on the console application. So for that we are going to use a basic printf command. Once we are out of the while loop, we are going to use printf and just printf a new line after we are done printing out all the asterisks here. All right, good. So that will work. And now let's quickly take a look at another solution which is also valid. We'll first define some auxiliary variable and let's call it int I, and just set it to be equals to 0. And now let's modify a little bit the while condition. We are going to say that while I is less than num of asterisks, because in this solution, in this example, which by the way the previous one is valid and this one is okay, both of them are okay, but some of you may use the previous one, some of you will use this one. I just want to show you another way to how it can be done. So in this case, we don't want to change this variable. We are just using some auxiliary variable called I that will help us with the solution. So as long as I is less than num of asterisk, we are going to printf an asterisk to the screen. And also we are going, of course, to increment I by 1. So you either may use I equals to I plus 1, or you can just use I plus plus. So I will increment on each iteration until it reaches out to be equals or greater than num of asterisks, and when it happens you just step out of the while loop and proceed with this command. So this is it for this video, guys. Maybe you found out some other approach to how you can solve it using a while loop, so just make sure that you can see the expected result. The result should be the same of what you see on the screen, right? There may be different ways to solve it, but the result here in this example should be the same. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.